Hello and welcome. My name is Lena Nguyen and I'm a divorce lawyer. If you're watching this video, chances are you're either considering divorce or just curious about the process, especially when it comes to handling your divorce on your own. Today's topic is a big one: DIY divorce in Texas. Divorce can be overwhelming, and while it's often associated with high costs and legal complexities, there are situations where you may not need an attorney at all. In some cases, a DIY divorce could be a viable option, and we're going to talk about exactly when that is and when it isn't. We'll also discuss the potential risks of trying to go through a divorce without legal help and what tools are available to guide you through the process. But first, a quick disclaimer. The information in this video is for general educational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Every case is different and the laws may vary depending on your specific situation. It's always a good idea to consult with an attorney to make sure you're making informed decisions that protect your rights. With that out of the way, let's dive right into it. What is an uncontested divorce? Well, an uncontested divorce is when both spouses agree on all aspects of the divorce, including division of property, child custody, and support. Essentially, this means that there's no need for a long, drawn-out battle in the courtroom because the couple has already made decisions on how to split their assets and handle other important issues. In Texas, if your divorce is uncontested, it can be significantly simpler, faster, and more affordable than a contested divorce. The process is streamlined, and if everything is settled, you can often complete it without the help of an attorney. Here are key considerations for an uncontested divorce. Let's start with agreements on property division. Both parties must agree on how to divide the assets and debts accumulated during the marriage. This includes real estate, vehicles, bank accounts, retirement funds, and any other shared property. Texas follows the principle of community property, meaning that everything acquired during the marriage is considered shared property, and it should be split fairly but not necessarily equally. Child custody and child support. If you have children, you'll need to agree on child custody arrangements, visitation schedules, and child support. If you both agree on joint custody, the courts will typically honor that decision unless there are significant concerns about the well-being of the child. Child support in Texas is usually based on a percentage of the non-custodial parent's income and is determined by a specific set of guidelines. Spousal maintenance. In Texas, spousal support, commonly known as alimony, is not guaranteed. A judge will only award spousal maintenance if certain criteria are met, such as if the spouse requesting maintenance cannot meet their basic needs or if there was a history of domestic abuse. Therefore, you'll need to determine whether maintenance is necessary and agree on the terms if applicable. A simple, streamlined process. With an uncontested divorce, the paperwork is often much simpler and the process is usually faster. After filing your divorce petition, you will need to wait for the mandatory 60-day cooling off period before finalizing the divorce. This period is required to ensure that both spouses have adequate time to reconsider the decision to divorce. Risks and challenges of not hiring an attorney. While an uncontested divorce may seem like an easy and cost-effective solution, there are some significant risks and challenges that come with handling a divorce without the expertise of an attorney. Let's go over some of the most important considerations. Risk number 1, unfair or unbalanced property division. Texas is a community property state, meaning that in most cases, property acquired during the marriage is considered shared between both spouses. However, dividing property in a way that's fair doesn't always mean dividing it equally. For example, you may agree to give your spouse a portion of the property that you were unaware had significant financial value, or you might fail to take into account hidden assets. An attorney will know how to spot potential issues with property division and can help ensure that you get your fair share. Additionally, you might be unaware of how certain property divisions can affect future financial matters like taxes or retirement. For example, dividing retirement accounts or pension plans can have long-term tax consequences, and it's important to understand those implications. Child custody and child support issues. Child custody and child support issues are two of the most complicated and emotionally charged aspects of any divorce. Without legal help, you might unknowingly agree to terms that don't fully protect your rights as a parent or your child's best interest. For example, you might not know how to calculate child support correctly or how to create a parenting plan that covers all aspects of your child's well-being, including medical decisions, education, and extracurricular activities. Additionally, if you don't understand the legal factors involved in child custody decisions, you might agree to an arrangement that isn't in your or your child's best interest. A lawyer can help you ensure that you are asking for the right amount of child support and custody arrangements. Attorneys can also advocate for your parental rights, making sure that the court order is clear and enforceable. Risk number 3, legal language and complex documents. The forms you fill out for a divorce can be filled with legal jargon that's difficult for a non-expert to understand. Small mistakes or misunderstandings in the paperwork can lead to delays in the divorce process, rejections of your filings, or issues down the line. For example, if you mistakenly leave out certain assets in the divorce petition, you may lose the right to claim those assets later on. Similarly, if you don't file the right documents or miss a deadline, it could slow down the process or even cause your case to be dismissed. Attorneys are experts at drafting and reviewing legal documents to ensure everything is in order. They understand the legal terminology and know how to avoid common pitfalls that can delay the process or lead to mistakes. Risk number 4, long-term consequences. Once the divorce is finalized, it can be very difficult to modify the terms, especially when it comes to child custody or spousal support. If you make a mistake during the divorce process, it may be hard to change things later on, even if you realize that the agreement is unfair or doesn't work as expected. For instance, if you agree to a custody arrangement that isn't in the best interest of your child, it might be nearly impossible to get a court to change it once the divorce is final. Similarly, if you don't fully understand the implications of a property division agreement, you may not be able to revisit it later. An attorney can help you understand the long-term consequences of your divorce settlement and ensure that you don't unintentionally agree to terms that would negatively affect your future. How to know if a DIY divorce is right for you. Before moving forward with a DIY divorce, you need to evaluate a few critical factors to determine whether it's the best option for you. The complexity of your divorce. If your divorce involves complicated issues like high-value assets, retirement accounts, or significant debt, it may be a good idea to consult with an attorney. Similarly, if your divorce involves child custody disputes or other issues where the well-being of your child is at stake, it's best to get legal counsel. Your ability to communicate with your spouse. If you and your spouse can communicate effectively and are willing to work together to reach an agreement, an uncontested divorce might be a great choice. However, if there is hostility or unresolved conflict, trying to navigate the process without legal help could backfire. Your understanding of the legal process. If you feel confident in your ability to understand and navigate legal forms, deadlines, and requirements, a DIY divorce might be feasible. However, if you find the legal process intimidating or confusing, working with a lawyer might help ensure everything is handled correctly. Long-term impact on your future. Finally, it's important to consider the long-term implications of your divorce settlement. Divorce can affect your finances, relationships, and future opportunities. Ensure that you're not making decisions that could negatively impact your future by opting for a DIY process if your case is complex. So is a DIY divorce in Texas right for you? If you and your spouse are on the same page, have no children or complex assets, and are able to negotiate amicably, an uncontested divorce might be a good option. It can save you time, money, and stress. However, as we've discussed, there are significant risks involved, including the possibility of unfair property division, child custody issues, and long-term consequences. If your case involves complicated matters, it's always worth considering the advice of an attorney. If you've learned something new today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from it. Thank you for watching, and take care of yourselves during this difficult time.